Everybody, and welcome to another episode of An Ordinary Influencer. My name is Alexandra Gaskins, and I am just an ordinary gal trying to help ordinary folks find their footing in the influencer world. I want to talk today about the do's and don'ts of making an Amazon review video. Most of us have very little experience in creating a review video. We may have left a review comment on an item, but most of us have not actually shot a review video and may feel pretty intimidated about the process. We may not know where to start. We probably have a lot of questions. So my hope is that this video will answer those questions and give you some practical things that you should be doing and shouldn't be doing as you anticipate filming your review videos. Before we get started, I want to have us all admit a couple of things. Most of us are not used to being on camera. Most of us are not trained as a broadcaster, and so the idea of having our face on camera can be a little bit intimidating. Along with that, we don't like hearing our own voice. I know for me, when I hear even a voice message that I've left for a friend or a family member, I can cringe a little bit because I just don't like hearing my own voice. And so the combination of seeing my face and hearing my voice can be a little off-putting. And then you throw on the fact that several of us, most of us, have a certain level of anxiety with public speaking. We don't like talking to a crowd. Now, in this instance, we don't have a live crowd of people in front of us, but we have a virtual crowd of perhaps millions of people. And so that can be really intimidating, knowing that our face is on camera, our voice is being heard, and we have a large virtual audience. But what I want you to know is that people are not watching your video to scrutinize you. They're not looking to judge how you look, how you sound. They are looking to gather information about the product that you are reviewing. And so don't get slowed down by second guessing yourself over what you're wearing, what your hair looks like, how you sound. They don't care. They want information about the product that you are reviewing. So keep that in mind as we get going with these do's and don'ts. The first thing to consider that you should be doing as you are making these review videos is you should be following the basic rules of communication. What are they? The first one to keep in mind is you want to speak at a normal pace. Most of us, when we get anxious or nervous, we speed up. And before we know it, we are talking a mile a minute and folks cannot understand what we're saying. So you want to talk slower than what you think sounds normal because probably that's a normal sounding pace. You don't want to talk so fast that people are taken aback and can't understand you and click on another video. So manage how quickly you are talking and probably slow down. The second thing is you don't want to sound too scripted. And this is hard because you want to be prepared. So you want to have an idea of what you're going to say, but you don't want to read something verbatim off of a sheet of paper. I know for me, I will take notes on a whiteboard and I will lay out the gist of what I want to say, and I may glance at it once or twice. But for the most part, I'm trying to internalize what I'm going to be conveying. You don't want to look off to the side to look at your notes. You want to be able to have reviewed it enough to where you can just speak candidly about the product. You want to make eye contact with either your camera lens or the product. You don't want to be looking off at left field. You don't want to look nervous. You don't want to be looking off at a child, a pet, whatever. You want to maintain eye contact. This next one is hard for me because I can use fillers like, like, right, okay. You want to try to minimize those words because, again, they are distracting and they're just not good communication. You also want to manage your enthusiasm level. It's easy to either get ramped up and to be overly enthusiastic, and so that's awkward, or be under enthusiastic. So you want to maintain just an appropriate level of enthusiasm that the audience knows that you are engaged, that you have a certain level of interest in the product, but that you're not just in varsity cheerleader mode or you're just zoned out and could care less. So you want to have a middle ground where you have an appropriate level of energy and enthusiasm. This may take some practice. Like I said, most of us are not really comfortable in communicating. And so it may take you a number of takes, a number of tries, and may take you some prep to think through what you want to say. The good news is that it does get easier. It's just like riding a bike. The more you do it, the more comfortable you feel, the less you have to think about it. And so for those of us who have minimal communication experience, for those of us who have a high level of anxiety, don't worry. The more you do it, the better you will get. You also want to follow basic filming guidelines. So what does that mean? First of all, you want to have a well-lit environment. You want people to be able to see the product that you are reviewing. So that's why a lot of folks will get ring lights or secondary lighting, because a lot of times spaces that we review in just are dark, have shadows, and so secondary lighting can be very helpful for those spaces. You want to control your sound. And so that means two things. One, it means minimizing your background noise. And the second thing is that you are able to be heard well. So in terms of background noise, I know as a mother of 4 boys how hard that can be. So if you naturally have a lot going on in your house, you want to try to minimize that noise. So for me, I do a lot of my filming at night after the boys go to bed, or it may be during a quiet time where they are having some screen time. But you don't want your viewer to be distracted by the noise and the chaos that can be happening in your house. And secondly, you want to have good sound quality. So for me, my phone and my computer have been fine, but if you have an older phone, an older computer, you may want to invest in a lapel mic, which will catch your voice better and the viewer will be able to hear you better. So just think about the sound that you have in your video, whether it's through background sound or through the sound of your voice that's coming across to the viewer. This next one is important. You want to make sure that your environment matches your product. And what I mean by that is if you are reviewing a bath product, you don't want to do that in the garage. If you are reviewing a mechanics tool, you don't want to do that in the kitchen. So as much as possible, you want whatever you're reviewing to be in the space where you would naturally use it. So think about what you're reviewing and how you can incorporate the natural environment into that review video. You want to try to minimize clutter and distractions. Again, mom of 4 boys, there's usually stuff everywhere in my house, but I try, for the most part, to create a space and a background that's not going to be distracting because it's so cluttered and messy. So it may mean moving some items around. It may mean just shifting some stuff to the background, but you want to basically have a background that's not going to distract from the product that you're reviewing. You also want to stabilize your filming device. For most of us, that's going to be our phone. You want to avoid having to hold it yourself or to balance it on a book or a box or whatnot. You need to invest in a tripod. They are not expensive. I can link the tripod that I got back in March and April. It has been great. It's lightweight. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. And it allows me to be hands-free, to move around to different environments, and to just film knowing that my phone is stabilized and it's going to get a good shot because it's not going to be wobbling or falling. Do be prepared to thoroughly showcase the product you are reviewing. Remember, people are coming because they want to get as much information about the product that you are reviewing as possible so that they can make an informed purchase. You want to answer every question that you can think of so that your video is the last one that they watch. They're not going to other videos to answer their questions, so that when they make that purchase, you're the last video they watch and they're not going to return it, that you've given an honest review, and so that you can earn the commission. So what does that mean? One, you want to give a visualization of the product. What does it actually look like in real life? So you can show every side of the product, you can open it, close it, you can show how it works if it is a little bit more complicated. So you want people to have a visualization of what that product looks like. What is your personal experience? If you've been using that product, has it worked well? Has it met the need that you bought it for? What is your personal experience in using that product? And then third, if you need to fill in some gaps, every product page has a description section where the brand or the company has filled in a lot of the details of what makes that product unique. And so while you don't want to read that section verbatim, you can certainly gather information to include in your video from that product description section on the product page. What do we not want to do in our review videos? First and foremost, we don't want to violate Amazon's policies. And that's why I told you in the last video, make sure that you have read thoroughly Amazon's terms of service, their operating agreements, so that you know, not from secondhand videos or your friend's experience, that you know firsthand off of Amazon's website what they are asking you to do and to not do. A couple of points to highlight. You don't want to make any medical claims. This is especially true for vitamins, for supplements, maybe protein powder, whatever. You don't want to make medical claims. Just avoid it. You can describe the product, but don't go into any kind of medical claims. You don't want to promote immoral behavior. That shouldn't be an issue for any of you, but it goes without saying that you don't want to promote underage drinking, drug use, anything that is illegal, immoral, you want to obviously steer clear of. You don't want to make any guarantees about a product. So certainly you can give your experience, but you don't want to say this product will definitely last for 5 years or whatnot. You just want to keep it simple and not make any claims or guarantees. And then lastly, you want to avoid using kids in your videos. This is especially important for those initial videos that you submit for your acceptance into the influencer program. Typically, you don't want kids to be in your videos. So for me, I am very selective in when I have my kids in my videos. The vast majority of my videos are just me. There are some items that it is appropriate because it's an item designed for kids. And so in that instance, I may ask one of my kids if they'd like to be in the video. If possible, I try to hide their face. My oldest son, who is 13, likes to be on camera. He's very tech savvy, and so he enjoys helping me with my videos. And he has some products that I don't know as much about that he does, some tech products. He flies model airplanes, so some of his planes or devices. So there are a handful of videos that I have made that include my kids, but for the most part, I try to not include them. And especially when you are submitting your initial review videos, just avoid kids and probably even kid products. Don't talk about the price of an item. Keep in mind that the price of an item can change moment to moment. So if you got a good deal, if you got a Black Friday deal, if you got a lightning deal, if it just happened to be on random sale, don't say anything about the price of the item because it will change. So just avoid talking about money or price. Don't share exactly what people can read for themselves. So that goes back to the description section. Certainly you can reference some of that information, but you don't want to just read verbatim what people can read for themselves. That defeats the point of your video. So you want to share a holistic view of the product that doesn't just cover what people already can see for themselves from the product page. You don't want to promote yourself. This is not the place to gain followers or to share social media links. You are promoting Amazon products, not yourself. You don't want to spend too much time editing your videos and making it look produced. So the first part of that is, again, when you are starting out, you may feel uncomfortable with what you are creating. You don't want to spend too much time making and editing a video. I would say a normal range is between 5 and 10 minutes per video. If you are pushing 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it's taking you too long. And so you want to create a process where you are simplifying how you are coming up with your script, how you are filming and editing if you need to, so that it's a quick process because you are trying to build your storefront because you don't make commission unless you have videos that are being seen. So don't get bogged down with the technicalities of filming and editing to where you're spending way too much time on each video and not producing enough videos to build up your storefront. Along those lines, don't make your videos look too produced. This is not Hollywood quality videos. These are real people in their real lives showing how a product is used, what it looks like, and so you don't need to add graphics and sound effects. Just keep it simple. Some people will add a thumbnail, and you'll see that option when you start uploading your videos. I personally don't like thumbnails. I know that when I am looking at review videos, I am more drawn to just the normal people who are just showing the normal use of a product. Some people swear by thumbnails. I don't like thumbnails. So To me, the less flashy, the less produced, the better. Don't wear branded clothing or flashy jewelry. This is a big no-no when you are submitting those initial videos. You don't want to wear a huge Nike sweatshirt or branded jewelry. You just want to keep it very simple. Even something like an Apple Watch. You want to hide all that. Just keep your clothing, your jewelry very simple, very minimal, and that will serve you well. Don't make your videos too long. This is another one that's hard for me because I can be long-winded. So the ideal length of a video is about 30 to 90 seconds. You want to try to condense all your information into a video that is no longer than a minute and a half. This can be challenging, especially if it's a complicated product. When you are making those initial videos, choose very simple products. I think for me, I did a picture frame, a stool, and I can't remember the third one, but just items that are very simple to explain, don't take a lot of opening, closing, fidgeting, just simple products, at least until you get your bearings. If your video is too long, people will not watch it. So you can see once you start building up your storefront, you can see the length of how long people have watched your video, and very rarely do they watch it from beginning to end. So make sure you are doing a good job of consolidating your information so that you pack your punch into 30 to 90 seconds. Miscellaneous. These are some things I wanted to go over with you. First thing is to show your face or not to show your face. A lot of us are uncomfortable showing our face. Do you have to show your face? You do not. You can make all of your videos faceless, and that is fine. However, I do think that people connect with you and therefore the product if they see your face. So the vast majority of my videos show my face. If you can work your way up to showing your face, I think that's probably ideal, but you don't have to if you don't want to. The second thing is you don't have to always shoot a video in one take and it has to be perfect and you submit it. There are a lot of instances where I will piece together videos either because I have messed up or because the product requires it. So for instance, I may be shooting a video on a hair product and I may put the product in my hair and then dry my hair and style my hair and then take a video at the end. I don't want to shoot a 15-minute video of me putting the product in, drying my hair, styling it. So I just do a 30 to 60 second intro video, and then I will do a 30-second video of what the product actually looks like when I've styled my hair. So don't feel like you have to always get your videos done in one take. There's also instances where you just may take raw footage. So you may be out at a restaurant, in the bathroom, or in a doctor's office, and you may see something that you feel like it'd be appropriate to record just the general outside of whatever it is. So for instance, there have been times where I have recorded a baby changing table or a trash can in the bathroom, all kinds of things that you might, once you get the hang of this, that you might want to record. So in that instance, I would just take raw footage. I would just go around the object. I would just, do 60 seconds of raw footage, and then I would go in and edit in my voice on top of it, explaining what the product is and how it works. So know that you have that option. You don't have to always get the perfect video in one take. And then the last thing is, do you want to shoot vertically or horizontally? Most of us will be using our phone to shoot our video. The vast majority of my videos are vertical, and that works fine. It's not a problem. If you, down the road, anticipate using YouTube, your video has to be 3 minutes or under to be a short. And if you want it to be over 3 minutes, then it has to be shot horizontally. Now, again, most of your videos are not going to be anywhere close to 3 minutes, but there are times where you may be comparing products or it's especially complicated product and your video may be on the longer side. So if you anticipate wanting to upload a longer video, longer than 3 minutes, to YouTube, then you want to shoot it horizontally. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that has been helpful in helping you to think through how to shoot your review videos. I have loved hearing from you. I have loved hearing where you are on the journey. A lot of you have started TikTok accounts. Some of you have already been accepted. So please let me know where you are in the process. Please let me know your questions. I want to be here to help you, to cheer you on, and it just is a huge encouragement to me. So let me know what questions you have. Let me know where you are, and I look forward to our next video together.